What's up, guys? We are back, and I'm looking at some more MLB plays today over on PrizePicks. Fell short yesterday, looking to bounce back and get some winners under our belt today. We got a pretty good looking MLB slate today. There's a lot of high over-unders and some bad pitchers, which means it's pretty good for the overs and especially for those hitters. So it's going to be diving into some of those games with those higher over-unders, trying to take advantage of that. So I got some plays for you guys. I think are some pretty good value on the PrizePicks board today. Let's hop in and let's hopefully just keep cashing. I have 3 plays for you guys in this video, and if you guys want a third play tomorrow, leave a like on this video here, because if we get to 150 likes, I'll drop a third play in tomorrow's video for you guys. And while you're down and leaving a like, you may as well subscribe with those notifications on as well. That way you get in before these lines get bumped to get removed. Let's get to these plays, but before we do so, don't miss out on checking out the DubClub if you have not already. The DubClub is where you get all of my plays sent straight to your phone, and also access to my Discord. The best part though is that right now it is a lot cheaper than it usually is. It is 50% off right now, with limited spots available, so get in right now with the link in my description. It's either 50% off of your first month or 60% off if you want in for the next 3 months. You can see all the different testimonies right here of how we have historically been over in the DubClub. But when you join the DubClub, the first thing I recommend you do is connect your Discord to DubClub. That way you get access to all these different channels over my Discord. You access to my correlations tab to find my correlation entry, which kind of have entries that are like that. You have bankroll builders, underdog streaks, for example. Of course, you have all my main plays sent to you as well in these channels here. You also have my community chat to talk to me and other members about plays or whatever's going on. If you just add me in the chat, I'll respond to you in a pretty good time typically. I'm really good about getting back to you guys in the chat whenever you add me and just with any questions or anything. You also have my contributors here posting their plays. You have Asmies with his golf plays, Emo with WNBA, Elo with soccer, Nerdler with some esports, and then Astronaut Doe here with pretty much a little bit of everything. So these guys all do some great work. So it's not even just my plays that I'm showing, but of course these guys are all sharing their plays as well for a bunch of different sports. We have the Hall of Fame game in the NFL coming up. I'll have some plays for that more than likely. So excited about that as well. So come join us right now. It's 50% off in the next month. It'll get you a little bit of the NFL season, right? I think at week 1 maybe? Not quite. I think it's still the preseason at that point, but we're creeping up in the NFL season for sure. So I'm really excited about that. But go ahead and get in right now. It is limited time for 50% off with the link in my description. With that out of the way, though, let's get to these free plays. Make sure that you play responsibly at your own risk. Leave a like on this video here and subscribe if you have not already, and let's get to these plays. The first play like on the PrizePicks board for tonight's slate is going to be over in the fantasy score category, because today I like Cal Raleigh here, over 7.5 hitter fantasy score. If you're on another app out there, what I like is it's over hits, runs, and RBIs, or is over 1.5 total bases if fantasy score is not available to you. But if you're on PrizePicks, I like his over fantasy score at 7.5 against the Athletics today. Maybe even a sprinkle on him to hit a home run, even though it's probably going to be like, what, a plus 240 maybe for Raleigh today, if not even worse in terms of odds. But I really like this game today between the Mariners and the Athletics. I expect there to be a lot of offense in this game. The over-under is, I believe, the highest on the slate at a 10-run over-under, and Seattle is going to be slight favorites on the road here, going to the Athletics here. And by the way, if you did not know, the Athletics are playing in a minor league stadium, and now they get to face a lefty today in JP Sears, which is why I like to back Cal Raleigh here, because he's been very good against lefties this year. You can see that he has not had the best history against JP Sears, although he still has a 286 on-base percentage and a home run against him, so I'm not super worried about that. But Raleigh here has a 325 batting average here against lefties compared to his normal 257. So he's been very good on paper against lefties this year, while JP Sears has really struggled this year compared to years past. So it's another reason why I'm not really super concerned about the historical stats against JP Sears, because he's been so bad this year, especially against righties. He has a 5.5 ERA and a 257 batting average allowed to opposing right-handed batters this year. He also has a 407 on-base average, which is ridiculously good. He faces the slider and the fastball today, which he's good against both of those pitches there. He's been throwing that, at least 70% of the time. So 427 on-base average there, and then a 388 there. So both are very good there. We like to see that. So that is some of the reasons why I'm backing Cal Raleigh so much here. But if you look at games where the Mariners win, since they are favorite in this game, he's been over in 63% of games. In his last 20 games, 70% when they win. So I really like that spot there, obviously just based off of those splits. On the road, it's even better. Wins on the road, 70%. So there's a lot of reasons to like Cal Raleigh today. What I'm actually going to do, though, is take 2 overs from the Mariners here. So as well as Cal, I'm also going to go with Randy Arozarena here on the over of his fantasy score. I spelled it wrong there. So I'm taking both of these Mariners overs here between Randy and also Cal Raleigh here, and that's because they have a lot of correlation between the two. If you look at the last couple of games here where they've actually faced a lefty, because it's lefties are a lot different than when they face righties here. We'll just go with the hits, runs, and RBIs just as an example here against lefties here. If you look at this here, though, I believe he actually went over his faint score on the 24th here, if I'm not wrong. So do kind of keep that in mind. He's been over his faint score, I think, in at least 6 straight games against lefties, if I'm not wrong. And you can just see the kind of correlation here because these guys both went over in the majority of these games when they played together against a lefty. I believe the only game in the last like 5 or so that they did not cover together was the 11th here against the Detroit Tigers, which was kind of funny here because then they scored, so many runs in that game. But I'm pretty sure they were correlated in all these games in terms of faint score against lefties in like the last like 5 or 6 games or so, except for that one. So that's why there's so much correlation here, and that's why I like correlation, why it's so powerful. So I think that either both these guys go over today or both of them go under. And of course, if a 2 out of 3 power play on PrizePicks and an 0 for 3 power play on PrizePicks pays out the exact same. So why do you care if it goes 2 for 3 or 0 for 3? It pays out the exact same if you're using a power play. But Randy here has had at least 6 fantasy score. Actually, if you bump this down here, he's had at least 6 fantasy score in about 54% of games this year. And in wins this year, he's been a lot better. Go over in 64%. Wins on the road, 71%. So you can see why I like these guys so much based on those splits. And just like Cal Raleigh, in wins, he's been over in 70% of his last 20 games. On the road, it goes down a little bit to 60%, but overall not really concerned, especially based off like his last 10 games or so. He's been very good as of late too. A couple of homers in the mix there. But like I said, though, the stadium is awesome today. The weather is great in this stadium, so that's why I like backing the Mariners so much in this spot. But he has had a rougher history against JP Sears, just like Kyle Raleigh. I'm really not super afraid of that because he was much better in years prior. But this year, he has really, really struggled. But at 292 average right now for Randy Arozarena against lefties, while Sears, again, is a lot worse against righties. So I'm targeting another righty against JP Sears, who is very good against lefties. You also have him, again, throwing that slider and the fastball here. Against a slider, Randy has somewhat struggled this year, but at 299 is not completely terrible. Fastball goes up, though, to a 359. So no really concerns there at all for me. Overall, I think he's in a pretty good spot here to, hopefully be put into positions to score some runs, get some RBIs, but especially have a hit in this spot here against JP Sears. So look at the spot for both Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena here. For their over fantasy scores tonight against JP Sears. Before we get to my next play, if you're not yet on Sleeper, it is, in my opinion, one of the best apps out there right now. It's available in most states, 18 years and older. And if you sign up using promo code DOMG, you get a first-time deposit match up to $100 and a free square when you sign up. You could also get a better payout than an app like PrizePicks potentially. Let's say, for example, you like George Springer over total bases today and maybe like Sanchez here under fantasy score. Pays out a 3.34x over on Sleeper compared to maybe a 3x over on PrizePicks. It's a really good app out there. They have promos all the time on this app as well. It's a really unique app, and they have pretty much every single stat you could possibly think of on the board. I think they have like probably the most categories and most plays available than pretty much any other app that I've seen out there. So Sleeper is a very, very strong app. Check it out for yourself with the link in my description. And if you sign up, use promo code DOMG because it helps me out and helps you out with all those different promos. Now getting to play number 2 here, we're going to give you guys a pair for this Mariners stack that we got going on here. This one's going to be over in the Detroit Tigers game here. It's going to be one of the earlier games here because this Mariners game is going to be a late one today. It's like 10:05 Eastern today. But I like Spencer Torkelson over 5 hitter fantasy score today. So if all 3 of these are correct, it pays out a 5.75x over on PrizePicks, only a 0.25x payout hit because of the correlation between the Mariners here, since they are on the same team. In my opinion, it is worth it based on how correlated these guys actually are. But again, I think all these guys are in a pretty good spot here. Let's take a look at Torkelson, though. You can see he's had at least 5 fantasy score if we actually bump this down in 61% of games here. He's been over in whatever it showed off earlier, like 55% or whatever it was. But Torkelson here is in a pretty good spot against a lefty. And first off, his runs on RBIs is like a -140, -150 on the over, which is good value here. Because if you don't know, it's pretty much impossible, not impossible, nearly impossible to have under 5 fantasy if you go over your hits, runs, and RBIs. So, and there's more ways to go over fantasy as well. So he's got a better hit rate for fantasy on a prop that is like a -140, -150. So just know that there's some value with this line is what I would call it. But Torkelson is in a pretty good spot here against the Diamondbacks. So take a look at this game real quick, though, because the Tigers are in a pretty good spot. So the Tigers here at home, they're going to be at home in this one with a 9-run over-under, and of course them being favored. And they get to face a lefty now in Eduardo Rodriguez. The Tigers have not really been super great against lefties. At least some of their guys have not been super great against lefties, but Torkelson is completely different. In wins this year, first off, though, Torkelson has been over in 67% of games. Wins at home, 73%. So already a massive hit rate in those wins. If you take a look here, though, against lefties this year, Torkelson has been over hit, runs, and RBIs in 59%, an increase from his typical 53%. And you also see there that he has a much better batting average this year against lefties than he does against Oliver Hayneses, with a 237 batting average, goes up to a 275 against lefties. Rodriguez is a little bit better against righties, which is kind of a little bit interesting, although his ERA and batting average allowed is still extremely bad. It's a 4.8 ERA and a 291 batting average allowed to opposing righties. So still not concerned about that at all, especially with how good Torkelson is against lefties. But Torkelson here is a 350 on-base average, but against the fastball is a 446, changeup is a 419, and the cutter is a 261. So those top two pitches he has been able to crush. Torkelson is probably one of, if not my favorite hitter on this entire slate. There's just not really another Tiger that I really want to back in the spot today. So I'm not probably going to have a Tiger stack today, unless they give some good fantasy score value on like maybe Winsell Perez. But overall, I think Tolson is in a great spot today against lefties. Love taking him against lefties. And again, you could take those over total bases or hits, runs, and RBIs if you do not have fantasy score available to you. That's pretty much going to do it for the plays, though. Again, don't miss out on joining the DubClub if you have not already. It's 50% off your first month. You have access to my Discord. You get to be able to talk to me about any questions you have in the Discord, of course, in the community chat. It's a really good place to be, so come join us, man. I'll have some more of those stacks up in the DubClub today. I already posted a 5-man as well today for like a little bit of a stack over in the DubClub. So come join us. I'll see you guys hopefully in tomorrow's video, and best of luck tonight.